Okay, what's up, guys? Today I hit 2,000 elo in chess, which I've been trying to do for a while now, and it's been my goal for a while too. So yeah, I'm gonna show some games that led up to hitting 2,000. Um, Hope you enjoy. So the first game, this is not the first game I ever played on chess.com, but it's the first live game against a random opponent that I played, at least on this account. So, so anyway, the game starts off with e4. I go e5. He goes d3. Bishop c5. Knight f3. d6. Knight c3. Bishop g4. Bishop b2. And now I take the knight, which, yeah, I definitely wouldn't do now. I think I remember, like, at this time period, I'd just um, I'd trade off pieces just because I could, not because I should. Um, which I think is fairly common for this level. But yeah, it's not a good trade because like that knight wasn't that good, and my bishop was good. Generally, bishops are better than knights, so you don't want to trade unless you have a reason to. He takes back. I go knight f6, preparing a castle. Now he goes bishop g5, going for the pin. I go h6, and now he trades too. Which Startfish says is okay, but it also says bishop c1. I would probably play bishop h4 now. Um, and apparently I have g5, but the point is that the like the pin remains, and if you go g5, like that pawns cannot go backwards. Like that's a weakness in itself. So, yeah, he also trades. Like this is very typical 1100 stuff. So I take back the queen, of course. Now he goes knight to d5. So that's why trading wasn't actually that bad, because now I have to drop the queen back to d8. Which I do in the game, of course, because he's torrenting my queen and threatening the fort. So I go back to d8. He castles. Now I go c6 via good move, like kicking out the knight. He goes knight c3. I just castle. He goes a3, preparing the move b4. This this like, approach is a bit slow because my bishop can still go back to b6, and maybe even to c7 in the future. Like b4 wouldn't actually really do anything. Uh, but anyway, I go bishop d4, and yeah, this is a bad move. Like the engine says it's okay, but this is generally a bad move because the knight. I'm trying to trade off the bishop for the knight, which, as I mentioned, you don't normally want to do, and it's a waste of time. Like b4 wasn't scary or anything. I could have always gone back to b6, or I could have even gone bishop d4 after b4. Which now look at, that may have actually been a slightly better approach, because I get the pin on his knight. Like I'd pin it to the rook, and then he'd have to play like queen d2 or something, and then just play chess. He goes rook b1, which I don't really understand. It's like, yeah, it's kind of like the famous like rook b1 meme. Like I just don't really get the point of this move. I trade, and this is bad because now his like this trade is bad because now his like the point of rook b1 like was to maybe get the rook on the open b file if I do trade. So I walked right into his idea. Now that move doesn't look so stupid. So I go b5. Now he goes d4, which is a very good move, like turreting the center. I take, which it's not good because I allowed to undouble his pawns, and he gets the big centers. He takes with the queen, and yeah, I don't know why he took with the queen here. Like, yeah, I guess this is typical 1100 stuff. Like, he should have definitely taken the pawn, and that taking with the pawn is a very natural move too. Now I go queen f6, wanting the. Of course, I want the queen trade, but the problem with that is that I get the ugly double pawns, and it's not great. Well, I shouldn't have gone for the trade, but of course, typical like 1100 stuff. I saw that and by the way, I was 1100 at the time. It's like my K factor is just really high, so I was like 1300 after the game. But now like um yeah, like it's also a waste of time, the move queen f6. And yeah, I was trying to trade off the queens, but there's not really a point to trade them off. So he goes for the trade, centralizes the rook. I go at the pawn. He goes back. I go knight a6, develop a knight. He goes a4, turreting my pawns. I take, he takes. And now I go back to c7 with the knight. And now he plays this move e5, which I just don't understand the purpose, because even though when I take, he's going to take my pawn on c6, I can just undouble my pawns with f takes e5, which I do. Then I move my rook to b8, so on the open file, and this game goes on. We trade, and now we got to like an endgame where we have two rooks, but and this should be a draw, but he's going to take my pawn a6. I'm going to have to defend down a pawn. I mean, his pawn on c2 is weak though, so I'll probably win it back. But 1100 endgame's pretty messy. So what ends up happening is I do target the pawn, but now I'm completely losing after king d4 because he gives the check. I go c3, and he actually misses a win with rook e1. Um, he actually had rook to d5, and the point is, if I take, he takes. Say I take with the king. He takes on e5. This is actually a winning endgame for white now. Because I have the split pawns on h6 and f7. He has the three connected pawns. Like, this is actually completely lost for me. So, yeah, we get the sort of same endgame, but slightly different move order. And then now, so rook e4 is a mistake because it just loses a pawn, and this king and pawn endgame is just a draw. But of course, being 1100, I think I remember I sucked at king and pawn endgames at the time. Yeah, yeah, I just messed up, and he got the queen. I had the pawn, and this is just completely lost. Like, he's just going to win. But he blunders his queen. I take, and he resigns. So I get the win. An awful game, but yeah, I somehow get the win. Alright, next I'm going to fast forward to this game, which was played. This was the last rapid game I played for like, um, uh, yeah, like this was So I actually took a break from rapid chess, and yeah, this was uh the last game I played Like the last rapid game I played in before I went on the break because I was trying to get to 1600. That was my goal at the time, and I I was actually on good pace. I got to like I got up to like over 1450, but I didn't even hit like 1500. So yeah, I dropped down by about 100 elo points, and I just wasn't feeling that good about my chess abilities. I was questioning if I'd actually even improve that much. Of course now I have improved a lot. But anyway, this game starts off with e4. I play c6. By the way, at this like time period, I got into the KO Khan. Um, and he goes for the fantasy variation. So I played knight d7. Now I play e5, and like a lot of my opponents just don't know what to do against e5, even if I don't find the sort of like right ideas. But anyway, I play knight d7. This is a bit passive. He goes bishop d3, which Starfish doesn't like. It likes e5 better, just taking space. And now I go e5. And here, e5 is the best move. So I do go e5, and this is a VA tactical position. So he goes knight 2, I take, he takes. I go bishop c5. So I'm attacking his knight, and if the knight moves, then I'm preventing him from castling. Like, I'm getting some VA aggressive chances here. He goes bishop e3, and I take, which I should never have done. I don't know why I took. Like, get that mentality of just trading just because I can. I should have played queen b6 here because it targets the knight and the b2 pawn. So he actually has to play c3, give up the pawn, and so this is the line Starfish recommends. It actually recommends castling, giving up the rook, which, yeah, I mean, I don't think he would have found it. Basically, you play like queen c2, and my queen is trapped. Yeah, I don't think he would have found this. He probably would have just ended up in a completely lost position. But anyways, that doesn't happen. I trade, and now I play knight f6, castles, and now he goes e5, attacking my knight. And I go knight 8, and this is a very passive position for me. But so when I go c5, he goes bishop c3, and apparently I had queen b6 here to and basically would had to play something like king h1. But now I could go d4, and then I could take on b2 next move. If he if he doesn't do that, say he goes like knight d2, c4 just wins. Like that just wins a bishop because of the discovered attack. But anyway, that doesn't happen. That's to be fair. Like that's I can't really blame myself for that. Like now I may have seen that, but that was like at the time that was too high level of a move. I go d4, so he goes back, and yeah, so I get to a very passive position here, but I am defending, and all of a sudden I'm not worse anymore. So yeah, so we trade off the rooks. I trade off my knight for the bishop. My knight on e8 is still a bit passive, but I can play like knight c7 and knight e6 or something. And so I would queen d8, which Starfish doesn't like because of rook f1. I mean, it's I think my idea was to play queen e7. Like, yeah, I think Starfish is being a bit harsh here, but anyway, he goes queen g4, and that's a serious blunder because of queen d4 check. He just blunders the rook. I take, and I checkmate him. Alright, so now here's the game I played after coming back from that long break of rapid chess. So this game I go e4. He plays the French. I go knight f3. And now he goes a6, so he's played this really weird, like, system. Like, he's probably gonna play some sort of weird, like, modern system. I go d4, he goes h6. Yeah, like, this is fairly typical, like, 1400 ELO stuff. Like, these weird systems. He plays for b5, but I mean, I could have taken. I go c5 to try and take space. I could have played d5 apparently. He goes a5. So he's trying to gain some space on the queen side. But I have like a lot of central space. I just go a3 to prevent um b4 because if he goes b4, that's just a blunder because I take. If he takes back, he just loses the rook. So he goes knight a6. He's going to try to play like knight c7. I go bishop e3. I'm just developing. So knight a6 does allow b4, but I just trade. I wasn't worried about this. He takes with the knight, cause yeah, if takes with the pawn, apparently I have knight a4, which I probably wouldn't have seen at the time. And the point is I'm going to get in, like, that's a nice outpost on b6. By the way, he takes with the knight, which is the best move. I go bishop e2, try castle. He goes bishop a6. I just trade. He takes with the knight, I castle. He goes knight f6 now. I think now I may have played like, I may play e5 like now. Although that would give him knight d5. Starfish again praises the move knight a4. Like it really wants me to play knight a4, which at the time is way too high level of a move. Like that's more of a positional move. I just go h there. I don't think I really knew what to do here. I didn't want the knight going g4 though. So I think that's why I played it. He goes rook b8, and now I play e5. So here he has knight d5. So e5 isn't actually that good of a move, I don't think. And now I trade. He takes. And I go queen d2, defending my pawn. Honestly, like, Starfish doesn't like this approach, but it's not that bad. But he has knight b4, which like, it's the only move that protects his pawn on a5. Otherwise, I'd just be completely winning. Well, not completely winning, but I'd have a really good position. So he goes knight b4. I go queen c3. I think the idea is to try play queen a3, maybe, but that doesn't really do anything because he always have like rook a8. So he goes bishop e7, try castle. I go knight d2. He goes bishop g5 to trade off the bishops. And now I'm actually very proud of myself for finding f4. So you notice, like, the 1100 elo me would have just automatically traded the bishop. But then he could go h takes g5, and all of the sudden he has the open rook, and it's actually like he can always go g4, and it's unclear who is actually better here. Starfish says it's a draw, but if I'm not precise, then I can get into a completely lost position. But I play f4, which I'm actually very proud of. I attack the bishop, and now he has to go back to e7. If he goes bishop h4, like that move, yeah, I mean, it may be the best move, but it doesn't really do anything. I could always go like f5, and now I have a pretty serious attack myself. Like, I'm gonna open up the rook. I can always get the queen into the action. I may even be able to play like bishop f2 to try trade off the bishop now. he just goes back t7. Now I find knight b3, which I'm also very proud of myself for finding. Like this is a nice positional move. Like attacks the pawn a5, and he he has to play like rook b5 to defend it. Starfish recommends that he doesn't even defend it, which yeah, like obviously he's not going to see. But actually, he doesn't defend it, but he kind of creates a counterattack with f6. But now his king becomes very weak. I just take on a5, which I can't really blame myself for. His knight on b4 is really holding everything together because it prevents my queen from going to d3 or c2 to try and get into g6. He just castles. I move my rook back to a4, attack his knight. He goes knight c6. And now I drop my bishop back to d2. And he takes on e5. I take. He goes rook a8 to try trade off the rooks. I just trade. And now I go queen f3, which Starfish doesn't like. And actually, yeah, this just... Yeah, I didn't see this at first. Yeah, it just blunders a pawn because I can't take back because of the pin. So, he goes queen b7, though. He doesn't... Honestly, I'm kind of surprised he didn't find this move. Like, it's just a clean pawn. But anyway, he goes queen b7. I go queen g3 now. And I'm creating a bit of an attack. So, yeah, I go queen d3, try and get into g6 maybe. And now I go f5, and I'm going to try open up the rook. Now, this does allow him to take on e5, but I can take on d4 with the queen, which is exactly what I do. He goes knight c6. I go queen c4. He goes knight e5. And now I think like I didn't have that much confidence at this point because I just come back from for a long break from Rapid Chess, so I just tried to force a draw with queen d4. He doesn't take. He goes bishop f6, and that is like this is very scary for me because he's threatening knight f3 check, and I have to move my queen. So I go queen e4. I do move my queen. He takes on f5 now. I take with the rook. He goes d6. And now I go bishop e3. To try to take on d6 and attack his queen. So he goes queen a2 now. He's attacking my knight and my pawn. Like, this looks very scary. But I have queen to d5 check. And he goes kh7. But now I take on d6 and my pawn is very close to queen. He goes queen b1 check. And now it looks like a fort, but I can play rook f1. I do not play rook f1, and yeah, here I just lose the game. I go knight c1, and I'm just completely lost. I fell right for his trap. But he takes on b2. He doesn't... This really confused me when I was reviewing the game afterwards, because I thought, like, that was the whole point. He attacks my king and my rook. But I had rook f1, which I missed. I think I actually missed that my rook was hanging here, which is kind of funny. He missed it too, and he doesn't take. So the game goes on. I go d7, I'm just trying queen. He goes queen c2, and this is a blunder because I could sacrifice the rook, playing for the memes, and now I could just queen on the next move, and I've just won a piece, basically. So he takes on d7 with the knight. Yeah, and here I go rook c6, attacking the queen. He goes queen g6. He just blunders the queen and resigns. All right, the next game is the game where I hit 1600. So yeah, after coming back from a long break, I really started cooking. Actually, first was 1500. I was really surprised, and then 1600. Yeah, like I was in God mode. So here I start the game off with e4. Here's e5. I go knight f3. He goes d6, played the Philidor. I go bishop c4. Now I play d4 because at the time I don't think I really realized he could actually like there's the move knight f6, and then I'm forced to play d3, and that this is kind of Philidor's yeah, this is like Philidor's players like bread and butter. So like they love this sort of position. Uh, but he goes h6, and then knight f6. I'm not sure if I knew about this move d4 at the time. Um, so I just castle. He goes a6. I go d4. Yeah, he's playing like a really weird approach, which at this is probably like the last like this is probably the highest level where you'll see these sort of systems. What may sort of regularly, I guess. He takes on d4. I take the queen. He goes knight c6, and now the point of a6 is showing. I can't actually go bishop b5 because then you'd just take my bishop. Because normally, like, you'd play bishop b5 to pin the knight. So I just drop the queen back to e3. And now he goes knight b4, and he's threatening to take my pawn c2, which would be a fork on my queen rook. But apparently I have e5 here, and that would descend to complete chaos. The point is, if he takes, well, I could just drop back t2. If he takes my rook, I just take on f6. And yeah, this attack is very scary. And then I take on f7, and then he's just completely lost. So he can't actually go for that approach. But of course, I didn't find d5. I dropped bishop back to d3, defending. He just trades the knight for the bishop. He goes bishop e6. I developed the big center with d4. And yeah, so I play d5 here. And he actually just blunders the game by taking. Because now if he takes d5 and his bishop is just pinned to his king, I'm winning the bishop. So he long castles, I take the bishop. And this is fairly simple. I'll just fast forward it a bit. Yeah, so, yeah, he ends up just blundering his bishop in. Yeah, I'm up 9 points of material he resides. Alright, the next game we're really fast forwarding. To, because this is the game where I hit 1994, which was the highest rating at the time for me. I'll just give some spoilers that I dropped off a lot after winning this game, because I think I got nervous the next game, being one game away from 2000. I lost that game, and yeah, all spiraled downhill from there on. Anyway, this is a very quick game because it's very weird because he goes e4, I go e6. Yeah, I was playing the French defense at the time. So he goes for the exchange variation, knight f3, knight f6, bishop d3, bishop d6, bishop g5, h6. So I break away from the symmetry. I attack his bishop. So he goes bishop h4, of course. I castle. This is VA stand stuff. He castles. Bishop e6, c3. Knight d7, rook e1, rook e8. Knight bd2, c6. Knight e5. He kind of gets an outpost with the knight. This is VA common idea in the exchange French. I just go queen c7, putting more pressure on the knight. He goes f4, like this is VA standard stuff. I drop my bishop back to e7. He goes rook c1. And then finally I decide to trade. He takes, and now I go knight h7. Uh, and and here basically the point is I'm just going to yeah, I'm going to get this trade, which actually doesn't happen in the game. And yeah, say I take with the queen. Um, I mean he could take, but yeah, of course you don't want to trade the bishop off for the knight. But say you get a move like queen c2, the point is I'm gonna go knight f8 and I'll have like knight. I could go knight d7, but white has some extra tempi. White has a very nice position here. He goes bishop f2. I don't know why he didn't trade, but I go rook a d8, and here I just win the game after he disconnects and he loses. So and here I thought like I was just I thought I was just destined to hit 2000. Like I didn't have to work for shit in this game. My opponent just disconnected. And now we get to this game where this is after I dropped off like 200 rating points, and I was at 1790, and I was tilted as fuck. So yeah, this game this is a very funny game actually because I was tilted. So I go e4, he goes e5, and I play the classic Bongcloud. And yeah, so this is what I play when I'm like really tilted. I think I was like 1783 at the time. Like I'd actually dropped below 1800. So yeah, is like yeah, I was in the crash and burn phase, and yeah, I play the Bongcloud here. So here's knight f6. I go knight c3. Here's bishop b4. I go d3 defending my pawn. He goes h6. I go a3 attacking the bishop. He retreats the bishop to a5. I go h3. He goes d5. I take. We get this trade. He takes with the queen. And I'm more... this is a blunder, apparently. I'm already in a better position after c4, apparently. Which is kind of funny. Of course, I miss it. Because I'm tilted. I go bishop d2. He goes bishop b6. I go bishop e3, castles. And yeah, I'm just in a completely lost position. I go knight f3. He goes rook e8, and he's just going to break open on the e file. I go knight d2. He goes bishop f5, further preparing the move e4. I go f3. I'm desperately trying to prevent the move e4. And now I go knight e4, which is the best move. And this like he's winning, but it's not exactly clear how he's winning. So he drops his bishop back. I go knight c3 attacking the queen. He goes queen d4. And now I go knight b5, attacking the queen and threatening the fork on c7. He goes queen d7 to protect that. Apparently queen c5 is best. Just allowing the fork. Because apparently after queen c5 and I take, there's just knight d4 check. And yeah, I'm just completely lost. And because yeah, he's going to win by knight at the least, but he's also going to create a devastating attack against my king. But he misses it, thankfully for me. And I go king d2 game. I'm trying to run my king away. He goes e4, but now I can just take. And he takes the bishop, making use of the pin. I go knight c3 to try trade off the knight for the bishop. He drops the bishop back to g6. I go bishop e2. Yeah, he goes rook e7. He's trying to double up his rooks. Here I go bishop g4, attacking the queen. He goes bishop f5. all of a sudden I'm making my way back in the game. And here I'm not even worse anymore. Or I'm very slightly worse. We trade off the queens, and all he has is my double isolated pawns to work with. So he doubles up the rooks. And now I go g5. And I'm just going to trade off the pawn. And he goes h5. Apparently he should have just traded. And now because now I can go rook h1. And all of a sudden, his pawn is just completely weak because he can't go g6 because if he goes g6, knight f6, that's just a fork on his king and rook. So I think he missed that. And he goes knight c4 check. And the point is if I take, he takes my knight. And now I go king c3. And yeah, he goes knight e3 because I was attacking his knight. And now I take on h5. And he takes on g2 and he blunders me in 4. After rook ah1, he goes f5, and now I have g6, and checkmate's unstoppable. And he takes the knight, but yeah, I just checkmate him. So the next game is this game. So the opponent I was playing, this is actually the highest rated opponent that I've beaten. Maybe even the highest rated opponent that I've played against. I don't quite know about that. But this is, yeah, it's definitely the highest rated opponent I've beaten. And this is after I managed to climb up from the depths. And I got back up to 1996. So I start the game off with d4 here. So so you get knight f6, knight f3. He goes c5. I go e3. He goes d5, c4. So he plays c, takes d4. I take back. He goes bishop g4, going for the pin. And here I go c5. I think I didn't want him to take my pawn at c4 because I was worried about my pawn at d4 being weak and the fact that's an isolated pawn. Like he's just gonna put pressure. And like I saw his rating, and yeah, he's 2073. Like I think at the time he was like 2080 something, like 2083 or something. Yeah. So I was like, I can't give him anything. So we at knight c6. I go bishop e3. He goes e6. I go h3, attack his bishop. He retreats. Yeah, I go bishop e2, breaking out of the pin. Bishop e7. And now I go a3, preventing knight b4. But more importantly, I'm trying to play b4. And he goes a5 to prevent b4. So I go knight c3, just develop here. Right? He castles, I castle. He drops the bishop back to g6. And now I go knight h4, and I'm just going to try to take the bishop, which he allows. But he goes bishop d5, and this shows like his superior positional knowledge. He knows that like taking the bishop is not actually good for me. And it actually puts me in a worse position. But I take because I'm like, like that's a good trade, knight for the bishop. Now he takes with the knight. Apparently it was even better to take with the pawn, which is, yeah, that's a VA unhuman move, like getting the double pawns. But yeah, he takes with the knight. I just go back to f3 with my knight. He goes f5, and now I go bishop f4. And the point is, I want to play knight e5, and when he takes, I'm going to take with the bishop. He goes g5 now, to my bishop, and now my bishop is kind of forced into passivity. Like, it's forced back to h2. he goes g4. F4 may have been better to block in my bishop. But I take, he takes. My knight's under attack. Here I thought I was going to lose the game because he has an attack. And it's going to be hard coming up with the right moves to defend against attack. So I go knight e5. And now he goes bishop h4. The point is he's torrenting my pawn on f2. If he takes, it's just game over. But this is a serious mistake. Because apparently I could take on g4. I just go g3. But after bishop takes, I could take with the rook. I could actually sack the rook. And if he takes with the rook, I can just play bishop e6 check. And his king is actually the one under attack. And I'm actually just completely winning here. Of course I didn't see that. And I was very concerned about my position. I end up trading for his knight on c6. And then I take the pawn on g4 and I'm temporarily up a pawn. I go f3, attack his knight. He goes knight g5. And I go rook e1 to try and put some pressure on his weak pawn on e6. He goes rook a8 over defending it. I go b4 and the point is I just want to take, open up my rook and then play like b5. Maybe get an outside pass pawn in the future. He goes queen g7. He's torrenting my pawn on d4. This move I actually missed. And actually here I can't defend my pawn, so I play king g2. Which is actually one of the best moves. And I just completely give up the pawn. And here I play rook b1. I'm desperately trying to create some sort of chances like a pass pawn. I go bishop to g1 to try to trade off the bishops. Here's bishop c3 attacking my rook. And I go rook e3. He goes e4. So d4 is better, and now, yeah, like I get forced into extreme passivity. But he goes e4, wrong pawn push. f4 only move. I'm attacking the knight. That pawn's actually a passed pawn, by the way, which is kind of funny. But won't have much significance as a passed pawn, but it will definitely create some problems for my opponent. I'm kind of locking things up. And he goes d4. And here I correctly assess that I can just get the two pieces for the rook, which generally is a good trade. He thought he had some sort of attack here. But I just take the bishop. He takes, and I take the knight. And yeah, I'm just winning here. So he takes the pawn back. And now I play bishop d7, which is a serious mistake. I should have just played queen b3 check. And he may have had to end up trading off the queens. Because his king is very weak. So he goes like king g7. Now all of a sudden this queen takes c3 with a check. And his king's just defenseless. And he'd have to end up trailing the queens. And then my advantage would definitely show. But I missed it, which is like that's unexcusable, like missing that. So the point bishop d7 is I'm attacking his rook as pawn. I'm trying to create an outside passer. But he just has rook d8, and my bishop would be pinned to my queen. And I think my idea was queen g4 and just trade off the queens. And I may have been able to draw this, but black's pawns are like pretty powerful actually. And he has like rook d2 check, and this looks very scary for me actually. But anyway, that doesn't happen. He goes rook f3, and he actually just blunders his rook. Now it's not that simple. I just take the rook because there's not really much else to do because he's creating a big attack. And he just I think he played this off just off of intuition. Like he was getting a bit low on time. and he had no clear way to actually put me away. So he assumed that this was just winning because he's attacking with two major pieces, his queen and his rook, and my king looks very weak. But I just take the rook, and he takes with the queen. It may have been better to take with the rook, and then I would have had to play like kh1. He could go like queen h4 check or something, and then I go bishop h2. This isn't like exactly trivial. um, like for example, in the game I ended up playing queen g1. Here it wouldn't be possible because of the rook. He takes with the queen. I go king h1. He goes rook f4, but he's not threatening a ladder mate because my bishop on g1 is a god, actually. It looks so passive, but turns out it's a god. I just go bishop h2. He goes rook h4. And now I go queen g1, and I'm forcing the queen trade. It's just GG. So we trade the queens. And so his pawns actually look pretty scary. He takes my pawn b4. I have bishop e2. It looks like I blundered, but yeah, I have bishop f4, and he resigns. And finally, the game where I hit 2,000. The funny thing about this game was it was only 13 moves long. It was a very short game, so yeah, I did actually have to put much effort into this game, which I was very happy about because I would probably got nervous. By the way, this isn't off of like the other game. Like I actually dropped off a bit after the other game, but I didn't drop off that much. Like I think the lowest I hit was like 1930, and then I quickly climbed back up. But yeah, this is the game where I hit 2,000. I actually hit 2,000 exactly this game. So I play the KO card, which I've been playing a lot lately. And we get, like, this is very standard, the advanced KO. And now he plays G4, which is a bit of a sideline, which I've actually played. Recently, I played this in a like over the board tournament. Like this line is white, and I ended up getting a really good position. Sadly, I lost, and yeah, I didn't do that well in the tournament. It was actually my first over the board tournament ever. So sadly, I lost, but I mean, it was a learning experience for sure. Here, I have an awful record against this line as black. Actually, I was actually hoping he wouldn't play this. So after he played, I just went bishop d7 because basically his idea is to play e6, and I just didn't want that. Well, I was like, okay, I'm gonna lose. Because here it's actually not good to take. But it's actually queen d6. I mean, you can take, but then you take with the bishop. And this is actually a very respectable position as black. I don't really know the fear here as black, so I just went back to d7 with my bishop. He fear counts the bishop. He goes bishop g2. I go e6. Now my bishop is walled in, but my position actually isn't that bad. Like g4 is a bit of an overextension, actually. He has h3. Apparently now I'm actually better. I didn't find it. I go bishop e7. Apparently I had c5. So he goes knight e2. I go bishop g5, try and trade off the bishops. And now he goes f4, which I thought was a mistake at the time. Apparently is fine for white. I was expecting to go KF1 after bishop h4 check. He was king d2, and this is a serious mistake. I don't know what he didn't like about KF1. I think he thought his king might have been too open, but his king on d2, like his king just has nowhere to go. I go queen a5 check. He was knight c3. And here I go c5. I'm trying to rip open the center. And now he goes king e3, which is a serious mistake. I go bishop e7. Apparently I should have played like f6 to try and rip open the center. He has b3, but this is a serious mistake because I just played c takes d4. He apparently had to take with the king, but this looks like completely ridiculous. Like I could at least check with the bishop, or check with the queen. But apparently, like knight c6 check is actually better. But he takes with the knight, and this, yeah, he just blunders the knight. And the funny thing is, I actually messaged him GG, and I just really wanted to get to 2000. I was just hoping that would make him resign, and it worked. He resigned because, yeah, he's just losing everything. Like, he's losing his rook. And I probably didn't need to do that. Like, it's a bit dirty, maybe, but yeah, I mean, he would have like lost anyway. So, and there's always, there's always a small chance that I somehow get really nervous and lose. But, yeah. Anyway, though, I win this. Yeah, I win this game and get to 2000, and so some final notes of that. It's been a very up and down journey, like, but like it's been really fun, and I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get to show off all of my games, but this has already become like a quite a long video, so I didn't realize how long it'd take to cover 8 games actually, but yeah. So obviously, I also I had some games, like some real, like truly brilliant games, and then I had some truly awful games. But I think I covered a good variety of my games here. Of course, I only covered my wins. That's because I really didn't have time to include losses too. But obviously it's not because like I'm egotistical or anything. Like I would have been happy to include my losses, but like as I was finding games, I just like was like, this is going to be too long. Like, so so I actually like scratched some of the games I was going to showcase, but I do stream occasionally, so you check out some of my my game. You check out some of my games while I'm streaming. But yeah. Anyway, bye. Peace out.